Okay, this is going to be, of course, the last video of my triple TIG installment today. If you haven't already watched, I did a video about like my PwC application process and like, the results are in or something according to what I've written down now. Last week's video would have been assessment centers, specifically the virtual ones, and today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And I'm a bit skeptical about how I'm going to approach this, because even though I have some notes in front of me, I feel like a lot of the time when you go to not assessment centers, but like insight days or like presentations or certain events by social enterprises where people talking about LinkedIn, they all tell you the same thing. And most of what they tell you, most of what I've been told, most of what I've heard, isn't all that insightful. You know, it's things like how to build your profile, how to post, you know, how to upload pictures. So it's all the hows, but we don't really need to know that. So I'm going to focus more on like why in this video and like what you should do about that. And kind of overlooking all the hows, because I don't think it's necessary. Like, if you want to know how to do something on LinkedIn, just Google like how to update profile picture. I'm not going to tell you that in a video. So yeah, let's try. I'm going to try and talk for more of like an analytical, more of like a, I don't know. We'll see as I go on. I might close this curtain. I feel like every time I put my hand in a certain place, it just gets real bright. So that eventually will look a bit better. So yeah, let's go. So first of all, I'm going to start by showing you this article on screen here. 60%, you know, research has found that up to, if not more than 60% of jobs aren't advertised. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of these jobs, even though they aren't literally advertised, the few that are advertised are often found exclusively on LinkedIn, or at least found first on LinkedIn. Versus like some people go for like different grad sites. If you're in, you know, still in uni, like Debut is a pretty decent app. People use like Prospects, Bright Network, Grad Checker, Grad Cracker, whatever it's called. All these different platforms are pretty good for finding jobs, and especially for, you know, graduate jobs or student internships. But most of the roles that, you know, if you're looking for a job and you can't find one, it's not because the jobs aren't there. It's because they just aren't advertised a lot of the time. And many of these jobs do go through people that are headhunted on social media, or basically LinkedIn. Sometimes they are exclusively advertised through certain means. For example, Bright Network might have exclusive events. Specific universities might have allegiances to certain companies in the local area, and they might give out specific, you know, exclusive jobs to students or people involved in certain networks. But the fact of the matter is, there are 60% of jobs, if not more, aren't advertised. And what that means is there are more jobs out there that you can't find than jobs that you can find. Like 60% is bigger than 40%, right? So how do we capitalize on that gulf? So in short, what you want to do, obviously, I'm not gonna go over the hows, but the hows are important, and I guess what does that really mean for your page? Like, you do want to have a good looking page. You don't want to be going over the top with this like, massive description and big bios, but you want to have a page that people can go to and say, huh, I might employ this person for a certain job. And obviously, you don't want to be employed for every single job. If you want to work in tech, you want to have a nice, you know, specific tech bio. So someone working at Apple, Google, Facebook might come to this page, like, oh, you know what, this guy would work pretty well at Google. And you want that to be obvious from your description, from your experience, from your achievements, etc., etc. So how do you go about doing that? First of all, you want to have a nice, not necessarily professional. People always say professional picture. It's got to be like professional-ish picture. It's not going to be like you at the bar with like pints in your hand. That's for Instagram. But there's nothing wrong with you being like, in this look that I'm wearing now, maybe without the Adidas logo. If it's just like the blue hoodie, and there's me smiling like that, that's cool for a LinkedIn picture. You don't need to go over the top. There's no need to get a specific special headshot. At the end of the day, these people don't care about how you look. They care about are you going to perform on the day. I mean, obviously, yeah, institutional racism is a thing. Yeah. But that's not, we're not going to go into that in this video. Because this is not today. But obviously be wary of that. If you do look a certain way, but on top of that, if you're you know, a black person like myself, and I put a picture up, and jobs are like, oh, I don't want to hire you because you're black, then I obviously don't want to work for that company. So you shouldn't be ashamed about how you look. You shouldn't be ashamed about who you are, because if a company looks at you and says, oh, this person isn't for us, then they're not for you. I don't want to work for a racist company. I don't want to work for someone who doesn't like short hair or whatever. So bear that in mind as well when you're doing these things. You don't want to be doing too much. You don't want to like sell yourself out. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be working for this company, you're planning to work there for like as long as feasibly possible, right? You're going to want to enjoy it. So again, be yourself. Obviously, you got to play the game to an extent. Again, don't be sitting there with like a pint in your hand. But you know, you can be a bit more flexible. Everyone's got the same you know, black suit, red tie on LinkedIn. There's no need for that. You can afford to be a bit more personable on your profile than that. Let me actually, you know what? It will make a lot more sense if I just actually got my actual LinkedIn up in front of me. And you know what? Just for good measure, I'm even going to start recording this screen so you can see what I can see. So, as you can tell, like this picture that I've got here, maybe this is a bit too casual. Maybe without the hat I could have gone for, but I'm like, you know what? Again, you just heard my perspective. Like, if you're not going to employ me somewhere in a hat and a picture, then I probably don't want to work for you. My banner, maybe it's a bit better to have a banner that's more specific to your job role instead of yourself, or maybe something that, the best way to think about it is every part of this page, the banner, the picture, every single word, every single line is, you know, communicating information. It's all pictures. So if you want to make the best LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that every single pitch, you know, the banner, the picture, the bio, every single pitch, you want it to be relevant. You want it to be somewhat provocative towards the sector you want to get into. So for this banner, for example, at the moment, in the picture, it's just me. I know what it is. It's me, like, I'm like speaking into a microphone. You can see the microphone, to be fair. But like, what does that really mean? Maybe it might be able to have a picture of me with a team, the people around me in our suits, arms and shoulders and whatever, with an award. Because that kind of shows a new skill. Okay, he's got an award. He's a achieved person, you know? In your bio, the top it says Jordan Ebert-Kelman, that's my name obviously. The second line, engineering student, UGSG host, you know, that's your tagline. You want that to be specific, like I'm a student of engineering or of economics or whatever. So people that come to your profile say, okay, this guy does economics. Or if you're working somewhere, say, you know, I'm a hostess at this place. Maybe say I'm a secretary at some place. Maybe say I'm a sports captain. That first line should tell them not all they need to know about you, but exactly what you're doing in this position at the moment and exactly like what sort of jobs are you in, what sort of jobs are you looking for. Uni of Bristol, it might be a shout to put down your uni location and your home location depending on where you're looking for jobs. At the moment I've got Bristol here, maybe I should put London there. Obviously Uni of Bristol is where I'm working, but it might be a shout to put London, UK, so if I'm applying for jobs in London, they're more relevant to me. But that, you know, that's more about where you're going to be. There's no like hack for that. Obviously London has more jobs than like Somerset, for example. But you know, are you going to work in London? Don't just put a place down so you can get a job there. Like, play the game, but understand that it's not about getting a job. It's about getting a job that you can actually work for. Don't just like throw New York in there for no reason. Show that okay, that doesn't matter. About section. Now this about section, a lot of people have the same thing. Like, what I think is important for about is that you want to say about you know, me, not enthusiastic second year student. That's not you, that's every second year student. You know, put down what's your USP, your unique selling point, what separates you from the next man. You know, in my case I've got enthusiastic, oh what is this, I've got an all-star profile, yeah boy. Anyway, no one cares, but I've got an enthusiastic, okay, actually I was just mocking that, but the reason why I did it, yeah, is because it's important to say what year you're in, because I'm on a 4-year course, so it's important to specify that I'm second year. And then I just thought, you know what, if I've got to specify that, I'm just going to throw enthusiastic in there as well. So yeah, I've got a blog reaching 20,000 hits per month, which isn't actually true at the moment. I haven't touched Medium in a minute, but you know, they don't need to know that. 460 plus subscribers on YouTube, maybe like 470 plus now. 3,000 monthly views and an eBay ... Like, see more. Obviously, if you want to read more, you can click see more and see, you know, read more about it. Got a podcast with 5,000 plus streams, passionate about blah blah blah. But you want to make sure that tells them exactly what they need to hear. That why are you special? They, oh, you got a blog reaching 25. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, your YouTube channel. Okay, yeah. You got an email business. Okay, cool. What is that specific about you that you can sell? You can sell about yourself to other people. Again, without selling yourself, not lying here, but you're making sure it's specific to you. Don't just say I'm an enthusiastic student. You know, I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know, I'm interested in finance, because anyone can say that. Anyone can say that, but not anyone can say they've got this YouTube channel and blah blah blah. People obviously will have channels, but you want to be as niche as you can. You want to be as specific about you as you can, in a way that's useful to the industry you're applying for. You can say irrelevant things like, I don't know, I can play keyboard. Maybe it's cool to throw in there, but again, as I say, every block of information on this page is like a pitch. You know, what can you present? What do you want to communicate in this pitch? And I decided to go with things that I've got numbers for, because numbers are just easy to quantify, to understand. Like 20,000 hits, okay, it's a big number, you know. Featured posts, it depends if you post a lot. I'm not going to tell you how to post again. People do post, some people post more than others. I don't post too much. I only post when I've got something that I want to say. I've done several events and not bothered saying, oh, I attended this event. I know people get angry about that. Like, oh, why is everyone else posting these Insight Weeks? I get it, you know, it's okay to brag on LinkedIn. I've got in my notes in front of me, like, bragging is okay, it's acceptable, right? At the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter what your friend thinks about all these events. It's like, you're pitching Your LinkedIn is for employees and professionals. You know, if your friends care about what you're doing, they can check your Instagram, your Twitters, your TikToks, you know, all of that. They don't. I don't care about what, I mean, I care about what my friends are doing. I'm happy to see people doing positive things in their, you know, productive things in their career, but I'm not going to be too beat up or even too happy either. I don't care about what you post on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn for you. I'm not here for my friends. I'm here for my, you know, my career, my employers, professionals. So bear that in mind when you post things. Like, you don't want to be posting, oh yeah, had a sick time at this event, yeah, with all the boys. Like, that language. Again, there's a line between being yourself and then like being professional. You can be professional about selling out, about being different. So just understand that. And then again, make sure you're using the language and the necessary terms, necessary pictures, documents, whatever, for the employers. It's not for your friends. Yes, it will be good to get your friends liking all your Instagram posts, don't get me wrong. But again, remember, this isn't for them. You're trying to get a job out of this. You know, LinkedIn is the biggest platform for careers, for employers, it's the biggest professional site out there. So leverage that to your benefit. One thing that's important to note that I think I can't really go into in a lot of depth, but I do have some depth in it, is that I recently posted, I'm exposing myself at the moment, there's nothing too deep, but I posted about here we go, I had a great time working on Generating Genius and Good for Good, Bilateral Good, blah blah blah. Yeah, this post, as you can see here in front of you, I had a great time generating genius, blah blah blah. Shout out to my team again. Shout out to Lily, Banky, and Reese. Yeah, 3,681 views. Like, that's crazy. I've never got that sort of engagement anywhere else, and from only 4 comments and 26 likes, but it was seen by 3,600 people. Well, even 3,700 if you round up. So LinkedIn is the only platform at the moment that's still very, very good when it comes to natural, you know, organic growth. Instagram, you gotta play the game of like the likes and the engagement and this and that. You gotta play the game, pay for ads if you really want to grow. Twitter is kind of the same. You gotta play the game, hashtags. Again, paying for stuff if you want to. LinkedIn is still very, very organic. You know, there's still a lot of room here for up and coming creatives. That's not me trying to say you should like go on your proper like creative bag and like bang out content. I mean, you can if you want to. Understand that the potential is there on LinkedIn, but I just want you guys to know that there's still so much reach there. And if you do want to maximize your reach, LinkedIn's a great place to do all of that. So what else is there? You can see my dashboard. It's not very interesting. One thing that is important to note is if you go to the activity here, it says like Jordan shared this. I replied to a comment. I shared this. What that tells you was I don't want to go into my homepage because I don't know if my friends or people are okay with me like showing their profiles. But what you can gauge from this is that LinkedIn actively tracks what you like. Actively tracks. That's not the best language in this era of privacy and stuff. But like the same way Instagram got rid of their following activity feed, LinkedIn still thrives on that. Like if you like a comment, you'll show up on everyone's page. Jordan likes this. If you comment on something, you'll show up. Jordan commented on this. You might not like that. You might find that a bit too intrusive. You don't want your friends to know what you're doing. But again, this is for employers. And if you're constantly going on like the Morgan Stanley website, on their LinkedIn, and you share their posts and say, oh, great insight, Kevin, that's going to show up. And people that see that are going to be like, oh, okay, this person, Jordan's aware of these jobs. He's liking this post, sharing that. He's constantly engaging with PwC employees. Maybe it's worth hitting him up, letting him know there's an opportunity going at the moment. If you're in a specific technical industry and you're consistently sharing posts about technological advancements, new innovations, Tesla's working on this, Apple's released that. Again, people in your space will see that. They'll be like, okay, cool, Jordan knows about this. Let me ask him about robotics. Let me ask him about AI. Let me ask him about specific technical posts that I saw and put on LinkedIn. And again, I want to reiterate, this is not for your friends. LinkedIn's for industry, for employers, for professionals. And if you're consistently refining your professional perception, the way people see you, and you have this space where you can actually, what I call productively procrastinate, that just sets you up for so much success. Because again, not only are people going to be seeing this positive side of you, but you're also going to be seeing, unless you're just commenting for no reason, you actually are going to be reading these posts. And again, people now know you're reading that. And again, these headhunters, these scouts, even if they're not headhunters, even if it's just a random employee working at these companies, they can still hit you up and be like, yo, I saw this, maybe you might want to start applying for this, or this opportunity is this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a great way, once you deep and try to appreciate that LinkedIn is a professional platform, the possibilities are limitless. Because people always have this perception, oh, I don't, people always posting their successes, it stresses me out. And I appreciate that. I understand the mental health barriers, just the LinkedIn formula isn't perfect for people that are going through things, which I appreciate and understand. The only thing is, again, I want to express and be specific when I say this, that it's not for your friends. You shouldn't be going on here and seeing people doing things and feeling bad because it's not for you. It's not for anyone other than the employers and the headhunters and stuff like that. So yeah, again, like I can go. There's more stuff here. This is my profile again. It's my experience section, education, licenses, certifications, volunteering, skills and endorsements, which I've recently got a lot of engagements for. So there's quite a lot of stuff here. But again, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You don't need, if you want to do it, it's all quite intuitive on the app. But it is important to have your experiences decked out. I've made a mistake, not really a mistake, but like you can see if I go to Senior Mentor, I've got a little paragraph explaining what the job is. Bank of America, I've got a little paragraph explaining what the job is. Commercial Insight Week, I've got the T there, but it explains, what it actually is. And that's important because people might know the role. They might see, oh, you went to Bank of America, but like, what did you actually do? And this is, again, if you see every single thing as like a way to communicate your pitch, you do want to make sure your experience is the one that's the most well communicated, so they know what you actually did, what your actual skills are. Education applies a little bit. The best thing you can do if you have a degree or you're working towards a degree is specify your modules, because that might be relevant. If you want to work in AI, for example, and you say, intro to AI course, I've got a first class, that's going to look good on you. Otherwise, it's not too important. Licensing, certifications, volunteering doesn't really matter. Skills and endorsements don't really matter too much either. People do make a big deal about that, like, oh, I haven't got any endorsements. No one cares. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, obviously I'm not an employer, so I don't actually know what they what they look at. But intuitively, right, if I'm looking for an employee, I'm not just going to hire them based on the LinkedIn. And if I am, I'm probably at a failing company. But in this case, you look at the first bit, you scroll down a little bit, say, okay, they've worked here, they've commented on a few things, this is their experience, this is education, that's kind of it. There's no need to look at what their certifications are, unless you're applying for a technical role. Maybe you want to prove that you have some Excel experience or like some Python, maybe you want to have some stuff there. Or if you're applying for like a driving role, maybe you have your driving license there. But generally, they don't really care about what goes on further down the page. There's a reason why LinkedIn has built their profile to look this way, because the top is more important than the bottom. The only one thing that I want to note before letting you guys go, is that connections do not, number of connections I should say, do not matter. People always say, oh, I've got a 500 plus. 500 plus is how people know you're serious. That is complete nonsense. People don't care. No one's checking your account saying, oh, he's only got 67 connections. That's boring. Like, no one cares. Again, your friends might care. Your peers, your people on your team might care. But yes, your employers, if they see you've got the skills, but you haven't got 500 plus, they're not going to be like, oh, this guy's very, very smart. He's the smartest guy I've ever seen. He's got all this experience, but he only knows 10 people, so he's not going to work here. Like, that doesn't matter. Obviously, again, yes, the quality of it is important, and the more connections you do have, the more stuff you will see on your feed, but that's more for you. That's quite a personal thing. It doesn't actually matter for employers. As long as your profile looks sharp, got a nice picture, nice bio, good experiences, good education, you're Gucci, man. You're Gucci. So it's better in mind. And the only other thing that I want you to memorize is that, as I said, organic engagement is still very, very good on LinkedIn. You can just post anything. Tag the companies that, it is always a good shout to tag companies in posts. If you are going to talk about an event you went to, show praise, show appreciation. Say, I went to this event by this person. I learned a lot from this talk by this person. If you just tag people, that triples your engagement. But again, organic engagement is still very, very rife. It's very, very solid on LinkedIn. So abuse that while you can. Yeah, that's it. As far as the internship game series goes, as mentioned before, this is probably going to be the end. If I end up being CEO for a month, maybe I'll fill you in on that. I'm not going to fill you in on the interview itself, but if I get that, then yeah, maybe I'll flex a little bit on the LinkedIn. Maybe I'll flex a little bit on the YouTube as well. You'll hear about that first on LinkedIn. So if you want to hit me up, on LinkedIn, the link's in the description below. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys very, very much, for coming with me on this journey again this year, the Internship Game 2021 edition. It's been so much fun. I always enjoy doing this. As we all know, this year was a bit turbulent with the whole lockdowns and restrictions and stuff. There weren't as many vacancies or opportunities available. Also, in my case, where I'm redoing second year of a 4-year course, I wasn't really eligible for as much stuff. But I promise you guys, next year, assuming that I make it into third year, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to go from August, hopefully. CV done, cover letter done, applications, hit the ground running. Let's get it. Thank you for watching. See you guys next season, and enjoy the rest of this third lockdown. Peace.